Bonjour. Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everyone. Thank you for being here today for presentation of Danish project. As you might all be aware, Denmark, when it comes to sustainability, has a long history. And last year, like 2 years ago, they released the Power to X strategy. And they have a pipeline of 40 projects right now of 10 gigawatt. And some of the companies are present here today to present you some of the projects and in where they are involved. So welcome Martin from Green Hydrogen System is going to show up some project for the company.
Thank you, Emmerich, and good morning, everyone. My name is Martin, and I come from a company called Green Hydrogen Systems in Denmark. And I've been given the opportunity to just give you a short presentation of our company. And if you would like more information afterwards, we also have a stand located down there that we very much welcome you visiting us during today or tomorrow. So fairly briefly, what we are, in case you don't know us, we are an electrolyzer manufacturer, OEM. We produce assemble electrolyzer equipment in Denmark based on the technology called pressurized alkaline technology, which is the technology we have in our product portfolio today. Very briefly on where you are as a company. Company was founded in 2007 initially, came out of some academia R&D work, took in external investors to build up prototypes of the products. And then we really began the commercialization journey of the company in 2019, getting in some main shareholders there, some main investors, and then IPOing the company on Nasdaq in Copenhagen in 2021 to fund the further growth of the company that I'll get back to in a second. We are around 280-90 employees at the moment, and just around 3 years ago, company was around 20 people. So you can see it's a fairly rapid growth. Last 3 years has been around a tenfold growth, and it also looks like we are maybe not exactly the same pace, but it looks like a fairly good pace we have in our growth plans for the coming years as well. Our current annual production capacity is 75 megawatt that we're currently expanding, that I'll show you in a second up here as well. 75 megawatt, as you see, we built our new office and production facilities here in early 21, and I think roughly 1 month after we moved in, probably poor planning, you can call it, we started making holes in the wall to expand the facilities up to 400 megawatt. And at the same site, we already own the land around, so the surrounding area, to enable us to scale it up to a gigawatt factory in the future as well. Here you can see a recent picture of the site. This was the building you had before, and the production facilities here. And now we're expanding the office space and also putting into operation 5 new production halls that we've just taken over. So they are finalized now. The exterior of it, and we are now busy designing and constructing the interior of it to allow us to scale up to the full 400 megawatt capacity soon. On our products, it's fairly simple, and I'll keep it simple here as well. So if you would like more details, please visit us down at our stand. But we have 2 product platforms that we are building our scale on at the moment. We have our current electrolyzer, which we call the A series, which can be delivered in either roughly a half or 1 megawatt solution, and it's an all-inclusive system. So basically, you plug water and electricity in one end, and you get hydrogen flowing out the other end, and then it's a full process system of everything in there, which is why we like to call it a plug-and-play solution for hydrogen. Then we have our new product version, which we call the X series. I'll come back to a few more details and status on that. But it's a new 6 megawatt module we are designing and actually building a prototype at the moment of it, and then plan to have that in serial production in 2024 at the new facility I just showed you. And here we expect to take up both efficiency parameters and also the outlet pressure of the unit compared to the A-series. Worth mentioning as well what both products have in common, apart from being separate units, they are modular in nature, meaning you can scale them up for up to several hundred megawatts. And Denmark is the country of Lego, so what we like to compare is the A-series it's a Lego brick, and the X-series is a Duplo brick. So if you need to build something big, go for the Duplo version. But it's essentially the same principle for both products. I just promised you a small update on our X-series here. Some pictures here of the prototype that we are assembling at the moment at a different site in Denmark, close to our office as well. But we have all the major components. We have them delivered in a warehouse and are busy now putting them together, I should say. You can see the first stack having been assembled here, where we have 6 stacks in the unit. We've set up a partnership with a Danish EPC, Burmester & Wein, Scandinavian contractor, who's going to support us with the installation in March this year, so just 2 months from now, which will be installed at a site called Green Lab in Denmark. And then we also have multiple dialogues ongoing now for different project sizes from 2024 onwards, when it is we're going to take it into serial production. The last thing I want to show you is we've just put a small video together of the prototype assembly that was taken here a week and a half ago that I can show you. So you can see how that's coming together. Very good. And that's all what I had for you this morning. So thanks a lot for listening, and we hope to see you down at our stand during the day.
Thank you, Martin. And yeah, you can go check on the stand. It's you cannot miss it. It's just at the entrance, green hydrogen system. So now we are welcoming Christian from DIFE, a company with another competence from Denmark.
Good morning and welcome. Let me see if this is working. No? I could do it, but I think you will be disappointed. Okay, let me start then to save some time. We are a Danish company placed in Skive in Denmark, and now it's coming here. And I'm going to give you a little bit about DIFE, but let's go into talk about some of the challenges that we would have when the whole grid getting more complicated. This is what is in our interest, and this is what is needed, and it's also in all the people here's interest, and I'm going to show you why. We are more than 500 people. We have a very high customer satisfaction score. It's about support. We're a global company, so we are ready to help you all over the world, from China to United States. Everywhere we have support people that are ready for helping. This year we will have a 90 years birthday, so we are not a young company. We are estimating last year to be close to 90 million euro turnover, 12 sales offices, and I just took out this to give you a little bit of scale. Yearly we deliver more than 50,000 control equipments for active controlling the power, and we are more than 100,000 electronic units. We have been in the energy sector for more than 20 years. We always talk about decentralized small microgrids, wind turbines, wind parks, things like that. Portable emergency power units. When something happens out there, for example, next year when we have the Olympic Games here in Paris, it will be a problem to have all the needed power. This is what we are doing. We are part of grid demands when we are supplying green energy into the grid. The grid stability is a problem. This is what we are doing. And then I want to mention cybersecurity because this is really, really hot. And I'm not sure people around here with a new application actually think about the need for cybersecurity in the units. The key challenges that we see is controlling and integrating sources with different load response, the stability and the fluctuation nature of renewable energy like solar and wind power. Grid demands are not the same in the whole world. Actually, they are different from country to country. That's also one of the challenges that we will meet. Grid services, the grid getting weaker and weaker and need support from the application. So a fuel cell also needs to be a part of the grid and help the grid and behave in the right way when parallel to the grid. Remote installations with the low manning demands. There are not skilled people at site to help the units up and running again. Remote accessibility, data connections, and the distributed intelligence in all the different sources and without a failure. I will give you some examples here on what we are doing to let you imagine how important it is. We are in hospitals. In every hospital, there will be an emergency plant in the basement. So just imagine that you're the doctor or the patient, you would like the power to stay on. Data centers, offshore plants, militaries getting hot. We are supplying the emergency power for the landing lights on airports. And I think you can imagine on the way down here, you have 10 seconds to get the emergency plant up and run again. And there are several, could continue tunnels or things like that, where you don't imagine there's emergency power and there's a need for a few seconds to be up and run again. This is basically what we are doing at Dive. We secure all the power here, so you don't have to think about it. So if we look at the scale, we are actually starting, all grid is starting in up here where we have diesel. Then we started to add on the wind. But the recent days, we are adding batteries, we are adding hydrogen by fuel cells, solar, and electrolyzers we have also shown here as a load, of course. And this is basically what we are doing at Dive to secure that this grid is always operating. And again, I find people around here focusing on their own application and building up the fuel cell, but they don't think too much about how to integrate it into the rest of the system. And another thing is, I mentioned the security, cybersecurity, but I also want to mention the robustness, that this is not an industry application, this is not a factory, this is an energy application with power converters. It will be remotely installed, there will be transportation, so the need for robustness on those kind of application is really needed. And by supplying for wind turbines in China, we have more than 4,000 turbines running in China. We know the need for robust applications like that. And they cannot stop. All of us will be really, really unhappy about that situation. We are placed just down here. Please visit us. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. And lastly, one last presentation from Martin from Nel Hydrogen, which a company already have a huge presence in France.
Thank you. Okay, good. My name is Martin Vandel. I'm representing Nel Hydrogen Fueling. Nel is a global dedicated company, technology company providing electrolyzer and fueling station equipment. We do have production facilities in Norway and the US of our electrolyzer facilities. We're having capacities in Norway about 500 megawatt for alkaline electrolyzers, and in the US for the PEM around 20 megawatt. We also have already announced to increase these capacities significantly. And on the fueling stations are going to be produced in Denmark, where we do have a capacity, an nameplate capacity of around 300 stations a year. When it comes to the electrolyzers, so we are the largest electrolyzer producer worldwide. So far we have delivered more than 3,500 applications worldwide. And as mentioned before, in regard to the production capacities, so we have last year inaugurated the first fully automated facility for producing alkaline electrolyzers in Norway with a capacity of 500 megawatt, and we've even announced to increase this to 1 gigawatt. Furthermore, we do have expansion plans for the PEM electrolyzers as well. So far we have around 20, but we're also going to increase this to 200 megawatt shortly. When it comes to the electrolyzers, we do have a few highlight projects, what we have delivered so far, starting in Denmark, where we have 200 megawatt facilities provided. In addition to that, and we also have, in regard to the PEM, last year also installed a 20 megawatt system in Spain. And furthermore, we have announced large orders coming from the US, one about 200 megawatt to going to be installed very soon, and another one providing 60 tons of hydrogen per day in the US as well. In regard to the mobility, so we see now a large movement for different applications, but mainly now it is going to be heavy duty. So meaning that we're going to fill buses or trucks. When it comes to our product portfolio, so we can offer the full value chain, starting with having independent on the supply, different supply methods. Either the gas is delivered with tube trailers or being produced on site. Then it depends basically on your application if you also need to have a supply storage. But the main part of a fueling station is then the station module. So in this station module, we are combining in-house technology on compression, on cooling, and also on software. And of course, in order to make the fueling process, you also need to have some storage as well, ensuring that we also can meet this fast and safe fueling requirements to be able to fill a passenger vehicle, as an example, in 3 minutes, or filling buses within 10 minutes. And in regard to the dispensers, we also have the flexibility in this regard, so providing either 350 bar or 700 bar dispensers, depending then on your application. As already mentioned a bit, so we can guide the customer through the whole project. Of course, as I said before, so we do have in-house technology on the compression, so the compressor is developed by Nel. So we do have experience with off-the-shelf compressors, but the application in a fueling station is a bit more demanding. So you have this frequent start and stop, and thereby you also need to have a compressor system which is quite dynamic and agile in regard to this operation. Furthermore, we also provide, beside the equipment, installation and commissioning services, and also providing service and maintenance offerings as well. Here's a highlight of the stations we have installed. We have basically around 120 stations sold and partly installed globally. So we do have a network in South Korea. We do have a fueling station network provided with our equipment in California. And we also do have stations being installed in Europe as well. So thank you. It was a brief presentation about Nel, and you're more than welcome to visit our booth at 6B58.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, everyone. And if you want to know more about this company, you are welcome to visit us at the Danish Embassy stand, D04, just at the entrance. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day.